Welcome to the Real Estate Fight Club.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Fight Club. What is up, my partner, Jen Mertlin?
Hey, girl. Hey.
Hey, girl. Hey, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Did you have a good birthday?
I had a great birthday. I'm just happy to have a birthday.
Oh, shit.
Today, Jen and I are going to talk about and fight about a little topic that maybe is a little different and maybe you've never even thought about. The question is, should agents only get paid when the house sells? Or is there some other payment structure?
This is so good.
This is one of those things where we just operate as if that is the norm and it's the way it's always been.
Right.
And we never question it. What if we started questioning this?
Well, in our series, in Better Call Saul, we talk about what is currently possible that if it were impossible would be a paradigm shift. And what if what is possible were impossible? Okay, right now we only get paid when we complete it. But what if we got paid differently? Let's talk some options. I think we should be paid like how lawyers are for time, plus a bonus on winning.
Yes, like for settling the suit and the client wins.
Like you get paid, there's like a retainer, right? And then you get paid at the end when it sells.
Do you think if there was a retainer, fewer people would hire agents?
No.
I think there'd be a problem because, I'm not saying it's not right, but there'd be a problem because a lot of people wouldn't have the money. And the only reason they're paying a realtor is because they know it's coming out of the proceeds and that's where their money is.
Disagree. They pay lawyers all the time. Never about the money ever.
It's always about the money.
Never about the money. If it were about the money, you wouldn't have a Lexus, you wouldn't have an Acura, you wouldn't have a Ferrari, a Maserati. It's never the money.
I gotta be honest, Jen, this is kind of like expanding my brain, this thought, because I've never ever thought about it. I've always
You have a headache now.
Yeah, a little bit. I've never questioned how we get paid.
That's the problem with
question like the amount, like people question our amount all the time, but the how we get paid is such an interesting thing to think about.
You got to talk to Saul Klein. If you don't know this guy, he has been in real estate longer than I've been alive.
That's awesome. Better call Saul.
Better call Saul. He is literally the person that has expanded people's minds over these decades. He literally was the first person to put real estate listings on the internet. He went and sold it to all the MLSs. But what we've been talking about a lot is real estate is changing. And the way that we operate currently is not going to be the way that we operate in the future. We have been operating this way for so long. It's ripe for change. Let us question the pay. What actually does make sense? And for me, I think that as real estate agents, as this is my business, this is your business, we have to level up. Okay, let's talk about buyers. So if we were paid this way, if we were paid like hourly and you had a buyer, what would happen?
This would blow up our industry. This would be awful.
No,
this
wrong.
would be awful because the buyer would not pay for the service. The buyer only uses the real estate agent because they're free right now.
They're not free.
Well, they think they're free. They don't have to come out of pocket with any money. So they would just go straight to the listing agent and it would be a mess.
No.
Yeah, they're not going to pay for us.
Disagree.
Not everybody. Some people will, but the far majority of people that at this minute don't understand how we get paid anyway.
Well, then that's our fault.
This is true. This is true.
Because it's not free. It never has been free. And they do pay for it. And potentially you could make it so it gets wrapped up in the loan. But I mean, you have to have some money to buy a house anyway. This is part of the cost. There's always a way to solve problems.
There is. And this is an interesting concept. That's going to be a long road to change that shit right there.
Well, you got to start walking sometime.
Got to start somewhere.
If you never start, the road doesn't get shorter. It starts with you. Be the change that you want in the world.
That's right. That's right. I love it. All right. I think that's going to have to be the end of today's round.
All right. Bye. All right. I am here with our tiebreaker, David Sciplin. He is from Coldwell Banker in San Jose, California, and a veteran realtor at 16 years. Hey, David.
Hello, how are you?
Good. I am glad that you're our tiebreaker because I can't wait to hear if this has happened to you and your thoughts. So you do your job, but the client doesn't perform on the contract. Should you still get paid?
That is a very interesting question. I'd like to say yes all the time.
Yes, 100%. Yes.
Yeah.
End of podcast.
Yes. But, how many times have we been in a situation where we've worked tirelessly for a client and circumstances happen when we go to the 100th degree and we do our absolute best and they don't perform on our contract and end up working with somebody else without telling us? How do we deal with those situations when we've actually done our job to put them into a contract?
Exactly. So can you tell us a story of when this happened to you?
Sure. So I have several relocation contracts with different companies, and I received one and they basically said it was a VIP client. They lived in a different state.
As relocation does, right? That's right.
Yeah. We walked through their homes, got a good idea what they were looking for. They went back home. So what I do in those situations that I do walkthrough videos. I take a video, walk through their home, describe the home, talk to them as I'm walking through the video.
Yeah.
We talk on the phone, get an idea, if it's good or bad. So I ended up doing 31 of those for this client. 31.
That's a lot.
The sad thing about this one is I actually wrote 14 contracts for these people.
And none of them got accepted?
So the problem was based on where he was in the Midwest.
Right.
So every contract that I wrote, for the most part, was always too much.
Not enough.
Right. I use the same techniques that they use. So when I price a home, I do it in a way that's going to get them the home, in my opinion. But the price that I recommended was always too high. So he would say, that's too high, offer a lower amount, which I did, and he'd lose them.
Did you see this? I don't know if you're ever on Instagram. There was one of the millionaire real estate agent, whatever they are, I'm talking about, the guys on the TV shows.
Yeah.
He was talking about on a little video that he had a guy like that, a client like that, who felt like he got a deal. And so he called, and he had a property that he wanted to show him and that he had listed. And so he called his assistant and was like, hey, up the price, because I know this guy's not going to want to offer what we have it listed at. So up the price. And so he upped the price, and the guy ended up offering the lower price, which was the original list price. And he's like, yeah, I felt like I got a deal. And he's like,
well, yeah.
Okay.
Except the only problem is these are with other brokerages. And,
right. You can't do it. Yeah. Also
that.
feels a little unethical, right?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know about you, but for me, I get this feeling, right? I know, I'm like, this person and I are not really compatible.
Yes, and I do have those, but this particular client, we saw eye to eye.
I agree with you. Everything's been met. All the contingencies have been met. You like it. You just changed your mind. But I did what I was supposed to.
I'm here to get my clients' homes and make them happy home buyers.
Yes.
Situations like this, they happen. It's going to sting for a couple of years because that's a huge commission.
Well, and you also feel like it's not only about the money, but it's also about you did everything.
Stabbed in the back.
Stabbed in the back. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, David. Well, maybe we can find some more clients for you. Well, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a podcast.